All right. Hopefully everybody's getting the trailer on the way in. All right. We're back for another episode. But first, the sponsors. Head over to www.johnbartoloshow.com. Go check out a complete list of the sponsors there. I want to name a few of them now and thank them. Of course, Rhino Metals, Right On Optics, Volquartsen Firearms, SIG's Hour. Go buy a SIG. Pulsar. Thermal imaging technology is coming down in price. Go buy a Pulsar. Go check them out. Kenzie's Optics. Who doesn't love Kenzie's Optics, right? And I want to give a special thanks today to X Products. Everybody asks about the flamethrower that we have in here. So special thanks to them. Looking forward to them. I got a great show today. Got a busy week. Little housekeeping stuff. We got a lot of guests in and out this week. Please try to keep up. Show times, everything else will be bouncing around. It's going to be nuts. I'm excited about today's guest, though. Think she's a little nervous. Maybe. We're going to get into some of this lifestyle that I'm intrigued by. We got the one and only Lindsay Yota. Did I say that right?
Yota. Yota.
Where'd you come up with that? Is that like...
It's Mandalorian vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. So talk to me now. You got an amazing IG. It's an amazing lifestyle. What made you get into it and why?
You know, honestly, it was actually something, I actually just started sharing my Forerunner pictures. And I didn't think I was going to make anything of it. I was like, I just wanted to share that. But then I started to realize that, like, there's other things that I could incorporate into that page. Right. You know, to get people to watch my journey and the things I actually love doing.
It's kind of wild, right? It's a wild lifestyle. Yeah. What drew you to it in the first place?
So I grew up in a family where my dad always did outdoor things. You know, we grew up fishing, camping. I hunted with my dad once. I can remember that. We are not avid hunters, but I remember that experience. It was pretty fun. And yeah, my dad just was like the main. And you were like, I think it was just because we were all girls.
You were like, I just want to develop this off-grid lifestyle.
I enjoyed it though, as a kid.
It's something that I've been drawn to. I started watching videos on people who live in vans. Mm-hmm. And then I started watching some of the off-road stuff. And then people who would literally turn like their Forerunners and cars into like cities like they could live in. I know that's a bad, not necessarily the best way to put it. Yeah. But what kind of gets, like, do you go to SEMA and you're like, I want to do this or I want to live this life? Because there's some crazy shit out. There's like tanks you can buy that have.
No, I actually just, I attended the Overland Expo this past year. Right. Twice. And I didn't even realize how big it was, not just in the Toyota community, because that's the part that I'm
the biggest drawn
to.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, they have the biggest
vehicles. What do you do?
Me personally?
Yeah, like what do you do for, like, how do you participate? How would I get into that?
I think
like, do I just go overland, just get a truck and I just start driving it everywhere and living off grid?
Well, when I bought my Forerunner, I never even knew that I could do anything with it. Right. But Toyotas, oh my gosh, you can do so much to build them up. And
it's like a Glock.
Yeah. Yeah. They're the Glocks of the...
Yeah, I see these people and they have tents and they have like this whole lifestyle built around their car. Yeah. And that's really what it ultimately is about, right? Yeah, like you build this lifestyle around the four wheels that you ride on. You build up your rig
to get you out there, pretty much. Yeah. Overlanding is just like camping. I think it's like the more luxury word to use.
Glamping.
Yeah, glamping a little bit.
Now you get to go and just drive wherever and go do whatever. Mm-hmm. What's the furthest you stretched it out?
I think to camp, I have gone to Colorado.
Okay.
On a camp ride with a company. So that was fun. But usually it's just in my backyard though.
Yeah. I mean, anywhere you do it is where you're going to make the experience, right?
Exactly.
And it doesn't matter the level, like you don't have to go to Africa, right? And do it. I know that sounds crazy to some people, but it is a different kind of lifestyle. Now you can spend a ton of money on this shit.
Oh yeah, it gets expensive.
Yeah. What's the average, like what does it cost to get into it? Would you say, like if you start dolling up like those tents are expensive too.
They are. They can be a few grand. It's crazy. Yeah, it really just depends on what you're looking to spend. You don't really have to have your whole vehicle,
Customized.
right, to enjoy that lifestyle. So, it's just...
Once you get the car, you're looking at wheels, tires.
Yeah.
And then obviously...
I feel like a lot of those kind of people are the ones that like to be on Instagram, though.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing it with your family and you're not like in the media, like the social media aspect of it, you don't have to have as much.
Are you trying to say that there's people in the outdoor community that may not be living above board? Is that what you're trying to say? Because that's the vibe I'm getting. I love those stories. There's tons of that shit going on. There's tons of that shit going on. Mm-hmm. There's people camping and you could see the fucking tags on the tent in the photos. I'm telling you, I've seen it.
Yeah.
And I think you're more genuine when you're doing it, whether it's with your family or even in the means to which you can do it. A lot of people here in Nevada will go out to Salt Lake and they'll go out to Utah and then they'll come back, or they do that a lot. But it's a different life. And is it something you try to plan every weekend for? Or are you like, this weekend I want to do this?
Well, it's something I enjoy doing. So when I started getting busier with all the social media and the companies and having to go on trips, I feel like I kind of like let that go, and I really want to get back into doing the weekend.
Genuine.
Yeah, the not having to worry about.
That's a struggle, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the struggle between doing what you love as a hobby, monetizing it, and having it generate maybe an income stream for you, or but you start to lose some of the genuineness of it.
Yeah.
No, a lot of people. Yeah,
take
no.
Pictures
The best.
every time you go out camping.
I haven't thought of it this way. This is a good way to get into this. You see that in the gun business. People ask me a lot. They say, "Do you get out and shoot?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I get out and shoot," but it's like I'm also stuck doing 45 other things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people want to talk to me, and it's hard to talk and shoot at the same time. So I think it's a struggle to balance that, but you also reach a point where you're like, I got to get something out of this business, right? Like I have to start to have it generate. So I think that's always a balance, but I know exactly what you mean. There's a lot of people out there that create the lifestyle on Instagram or TV, and then they don't
just for show. Yep.
It happens a lot. Now you get drawn into this, and it's at a young age.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I grew up camping all the time, but it was like the camping on the floor, on the ground.
I know.
In a tent, the old-fashioned way.
I think we all started camping in the backyard, right? I mean, I think that's how it all starts.
Yeah.
And then some people take it a little beyond. But it's definitely a lifestyle. And do you see it progressing? I mean, what's like the next level? How do you go from Toyota? Like, do you go to like a fucking RV? What's the next level?
I really just love the Toyota because it can go anywhere. I love how small it is. I don't have to worry about trails, about having too big of a truck. I don't think I'll go any other route just because it's so easy to go places. Insert Toyota.
Yeah, no.
Let's go places.
I don't think you're wrong. Now, it's something obviously that costs money. You got to get into the truck, but people do buy old ones and they do spruce them up. But I think at the minimum, you got to have a tent. Now, how do you do the tent thing? Because this is fucking intriguing to me. Now, you put the tent on the trunk or the hood, right?
Yeah, on the roof.
On the roof.
On the roof, not even on the hood.
On the fucking hood, you'll be dead. So you put it on the roof.
Right.
And you go and you crawl up to it and you sleep. I haven't done this yet.
Yeah.
I'm admitting it now. I mean, you go and you sleep in it. It's fucking crazy.
It's so nice.
Yeah?
Yeah, there's nothing like it.
How do you shower?
You don't shower.
Shower.
Baby wipes.
At what point do you start to stink? Day 3. Day 3. Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, it's crazy. And people do this all the time, and they do meetups and shit. Like this is a whole deal.
Yeah.
This is a whole thing.
Yeah.
The van life is different than this.
No, I feel it's a little more
committed. Yeah, they're like living in that shit. They're straight up living it. You don't want to do that, right? No.
I mean, it wouldn't be bad, but like it defeats the purpose, I feel like.
Now,
in my opinion.
Right. Now, you spend a bunch of money, you get all this equipment. When people come to you and they want to start trying this, they want to do excursions, they want to do this type of stuff. What usually do you like? Where do you tell them to start? And don't give me the Toyota company answer. Like, do you tell them like go rent one first, go see what you like?
Well, usually whenever anybody asks, they probably already have a vehicle and they're trying to feel like what mods they should do first, and that's usually like your suspension and your tires,
rims, stuff like that. But you need the tent.
Yeah.
You need the tent.
Tents can, yeah.
Or you can sleep in the back. Some people do that. I have seen that. That's crazy. Like the rollouts and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know about that. But you get into the game, you start doing it. Mm-hmm. At what point is it something that you start, people come to you and they start asking you for advice? Is it in the very beginning, or are they usually asking you every step of the way? Because I'm sure you get a lot of groupies are like,
there's lots of questions on mods and stuff, what people should be doing next.
Right.
And you just kind of give your honest opinion about what you've used and what you
like.
Right.
Yeah, because you can spend a lot of dough on this shit. I didn't really actually think about it. We didn't talk about that out there.
Right.
I didn't think about that. You could spend a lot of money. I mean, I think you could put out.
It's expensive.
Yeah, I think you could spend probably at least $30,000 in mods.
Yeah.
Pretty easily. Mm-hmm. Now, how do you get running water? Do you just carry water reserves?
Yeah, you just take your own water.
It's wild.
A lot of people have. There's different ways to store it. I just keep it in my jug.
I saw the Patriot campers. I could do a 6th wheel.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Those are awesome.
Like one of the teardrops or something. I think another one is, what is it? It's like Oregon Trailers or something makes another one.
Yeah, there was some that I saw and they were very small. It was at the Overland Expo. And they weren't the regular size. They were a lot smaller, but it was just perfect.
It has it has like a bed.
Base price $10,000.
Yeah, it's not awful.
No.
But it's usually a bed and what else? Some of them have pull-out kitchens. Yeah, little pull-out kitchens. There's some electric. There's some. I think some even have Wi-Fi. I know the Patriot campers have Wi-Fi and all that. That's fucking wild. Gucci. Yeah, it's definitely. And they have at what point? That's a good question for you. At what point does it become too Gucci? I don't know the answer.
If you would ask me, I always felt like RV'ers weren't campers. When they're going camping and they
in the hierarchy of camping.
It's your home away from home. But and I started out like that, and I was like, oh, I have to do everything the way I was doing it when I was growing up. So I have to dig this fire pit. I have to go, do everything from the.
If it requires a special parking spot, we probably can agree that it's not.
No, that's not camping.
That's not camping.
Yeah.
All right.
You have to drive off the trail to go get a good spot.
That's the key.
Yeah.
Now, along the way of doing it, did you get into photography and you were like, I'm going to start taking pictures of this and documenting it? Is that kind of the thing?
Pretty much. Yeah.
It's crazy how that
modding it. Yeah. Because I didn't plan on using it for a full year after I bought it for anything. Modding it up. I had no idea you could do what you can do with the Toyotas nowadays.
Yeah. It's a different, listen, it's definitely a fucking different way to, do your weekends and to do your, to do your trips. It's definitely different. The showering thing to me is a hard one.
They have portable showers you can do.
Yeah, I'm hung up on that.
If you feel like it's too much.
Yeah, I'm pretty hung up on that.
Right.
I don't know why. I feel like I wouldn't be clean. Yeah, it goes against a lot of things.
You don't go camping to be clean, though.
There you go. You heard it here, people. You heard it here. Now, do you carry bear spray on these things? How does this work? Do you encounter creatures?
Honestly, we do. So I actually just carry my pistol.
Okay.
My husband usually carries his pistol.
Just in case.
So, you never know. Because we actually did have a bear run-in on our last...
You need more than a fucking pistol.
Nah. Yeah. It was a black bear, so it wasn't like a grizzly, but we do have them up there.
Yeah, I have no doubt. I have no doubt about it. I would, if I was off the beaten path a lot, and I've been off the beaten path, but never stayed in a paper tent.
Yeah. You never?
No, not where I was felt unsafe. You know what I mean? I guess I never had that moment of feeling not safe. I've camped a ton of times, but I was never not more than I knew where I needed to go if there was an emergency or something came up. I'm talking about completely backcountry, off the grid. And people don't realize what that is either. But a lot of people talk like, oh yeah, I've been camping, I'm a badass. People don't realize what off grid really is. Right. And I don't think they fully get the explanation of that. You're driving how many miles in? 20 miles in? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Or more.
Yeah. And you're completely off a road.
There's nobody.
There's nothing.
For miles.
So people who get out, that's why when you say you never did, there's not enough people man enough to admit that they never. I've never done that. I've gone camping and been away, but not more than to me, you're saying about the RVs, 5 miles is not off.
Yeah. No.
I would say 20 or deeper. Mm-hmm. You got to be way off.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. Now, do you recommend any like, do you need like, what do you need? You need like life-saving shit too, right?
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah. Usually you always carry a first aid kit wherever you go, and
Need a full crash card for me.
Everything.
I'd be terrified. And to cook, how do you do the cooking?
just like you would at home.
Like you use electric
I
stove?
usually use the fire pit.
Fire pit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. This is fucking nuts. This is wild. Now, you get into this, you start posting. When do you realize like you have something, like it's a legitimate, like you're building a business out of this, like it's gone from a hobby to the next level?
I think that's when the company started reaching out. You know,
Right.
that's when I started thinking that, taking it more of a business aspect.
Who was the first one to reach out that you were like, whoa?
Probably Backwoods Adventure Mods. They do fabrication for front bumpers and roof racks, stuff like that, usually for the vans, But they're starting to get into more of the Toyota community. They're seeing
Now, is Toyota the ultimate, or is there any?
usually because it's like, well, they can do. I know they can do a Ford.
Which one? The Raptor?
I don't know.
I have the Raptor, but
I don't.
the Bronco looks like it's doable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Bronco would be a cool one to fuck with and
pretty.
do some. Yeah, it is a good looking truck.
And yeah.
Are they considered like two-door, right? It's a two-door.
Don't they have a 4-door?
It's not compact though.
I just feel like there's no space in the back.
Yeah, I get that weird
opened
feeling. There's enough space for OJ. That's about it. I get that weird. Yeah, I get that weird feeling with them that you're losing some space. I guess. Mm-hmm. I don't know why, but the 4Runners and everything else seem a lot bigger. Somebody would be able to correct me on that.
No, yeah.
But depending on where you are, do people like do this and like, will they go? What's the longest you could go away? I mean, without resupplying, right? Like 3-4 days, I would say.
If you're really trying.
If you're really
hard
trying
to like not.
Yeah, I just think about it. See, I start to think about all these things. Like, where am I going to get my eggs from like a chicken? No, but I think it's very cool, and I do agree with you. I think there's a line that has to be drawn. I think RVs start to become crossing the line. I'm okay with like a camper or a sixth wheel or a fifth wheel, whatever, something like that.
Yeah.
I think that's acceptable, but it's also like once you start having electric and Wi-Fi, how off grid are you really?
Right.
No matter where you are, right?
Yeah.
So that all has to be part of it. Do you like it when your cell phone doesn't work?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say that's the big draw.
I feel like that's the hard part is you got to get content, but yeah, you want to sit there and enjoy the trip.
You got to hard record it and then sit on it and edit it out, do post.
Yeah.
Now, COVID hits. I want to get into this. COVID hits. And everybody starts going into this lifestyle. That's where I want to go with you with this.
Okay.
It must be like all of a sudden an awakening in that entire community, right?
Yeah.
Like a huge take me through that. Like as COVID hits, how many people the lifestyle went through the roof?
Yeah. So I think you got a lot of new people doing it, but like I think for me it was just like normal. COVID hit. What do we go do? Let's go camping.
Yeah.
Like
Did it shock you how many people came into it?
I think so. Yeah. It's grown a lot.
Especially now as everybody moves into hunting and starts moving into all these different spaces. Yeah, it's crazy. And at one point, I believe it was the camping and hunting community, was it like they were sold out of tents and shit?
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing, right?
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah.
You were just talking about having a first date and everything. We weren't camping, but we were hiking. So there's this hot springs that's up in Idaho. It's called Goldbug Hot Springs. And me and my husband were going for the first time, and it's like a 2-mile hike up of this like steep hill just to get there. Well, we finally get there for the first time, and then we get in the water. We're like, oh, look, there's nobody around. This is great.
Right.
And we're looking, and then all of a sudden you see this like 80, 90-year-old man naked, sitting like 5 feet away from me. And then there's like this younger gentleman sitting right next to him naked. And I'm like, oh, this is why nobody wanted to be right here.
Yeah. You're like, did we stumble upon something?
Right. So my husband comes and sits down by me, and we're just sitting down. The old guy gets out. I'm not looking, but he's walking, and he sits like on this rock, I think to get a drink or something. All of a sudden we hear this smack, like somebody had fallen. I look over my shoulder, and he is having a seizure.
No way.
Man. Yeah.
Butt naked.
Butt naked.
Butt naked.
Butt naked.
So did you have to like spring to action?
Yeah, there was this girl who was coming up the hill, and she's like, "Did he just fall?" I'm like, "Yeah." And so we get out of the water, and she comes. She's a nurse, which thank goodness.
Thank God.
Right?
Huh.
And I think the only thing we knew was just CNA, me and my husband. But yeah, we were checking on him, making sure he was okay. He was dehydrated bad. They had to call in the search and rescue to come get him. They brought a helicopter, couldn't land, then they had to go back down and then hike up 2 miles. It was crazy.
That's crazy.
That was one. My husband laughs at me. You want to know why?
Why?
Because I was still like, babe, we need to get the picture.
Get a picture.
It's horrible.
Yeah, it's.
I was like, well, it was our first time. What are we going to... I mean, there was like 5 people surrounding this old guy. So I was like, I felt bad. I didn't want to be in the way either.
Right.
That makes me sound so mean.
No. Listen, it's hard. Nowadays, today, with liability and everything else, you have to document like everything, right? Like people say that, they don't understand like if a bear shits in the woods, if you don't document it, it never happened, right? So a lot of times, whether it's for insurance purposes or the gram or anything, I think documenting any of those instances, like, look, we were first on scene. This is who was there. You know what I mean? You kind of start to think about that stuff when you're on the road. Like, like you said, there's no Wi-Fi.
Right.
How'd you even get in contact with anybody?
I know. And then on the way, while we were up there, we're like, do we need to bring water bottles? Nah, we're good. We have the beer. We're great.
Yeah, we're fabulous.
So this poor man's like dehydrated. Everybody's trying to give him his water. And I'm like, we only have beer.
Good solution.
I felt really bad, but
now
he's fine.
He got out. He was okay.
Yeah, he was great. We actually helped him hike him down all the way. And I guess his wife had just passed like 2 weeks prior.
What was the little boy doing?
I think he was having like, oh my gosh. I said, do you know this man?
Yeah.
He's like, no. I'm like, oh, so you guys are just sitting here naked together, okay?
Yeah, it's
like
weird.
They were right by each other. So I think
you may have stumbled upon something, but I'm glad the guy was okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't think anybody wants to have a seizure butt naked in the woods. No one
in
around,
front of all of these people.
So at least you were there. Never know what you'll see, right? I thought you were going to pull like a crazy bear story out.
I do have that bear story.
Tell the bear story.
Oh, okay. We were sleeping in our tent on the top, me and my husband, and we brought my mom camping, right?
This is terrifying already.
Yeah, my poor mom. We put her down in the annex room that connects to the tent. Yeah.
I've seen them.
She's on the ground in her sleeping bag, and we're up here. And then all of a sudden, my husband wakes up. He's like, did you hear that? I'm like, what? And it's like, he's like, I hear huffing and gruffing, like something sniffing around.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah. And so he made this loud noise, and I had like the flashlight up to the window, and you see this butt of this bear book it up the hill.
Oh my God.
It was a black bear, though.
I watched a movie not long ago. I forget what it was called. It wasn't Grizzly. Everybody who's paying attention. It was like a horror movie about bears, and it was like this bear like came in a tent and ate this couple. Like it was fucking it was like a B movie, like horror movie. I stumbled upon. I'll find the name of it to everybody listening. But I get terrified of that. Does bear spray works though, right? I've never actually used it on a bear.
Yeah, it works.
It works.
I think it works. Yeah,
I think it works too.
Burns.
I would think so. But I mean, you have to have stuff like that with you when you hit the road. Oh,
yeah, definitely.
100%. Because even if you have a high-powered rifle, it's still not going to necessarily be enough. Yeah, the bear story. That's fucking crazy.
Bears are fun.
Yeah. Have you encountered any other creatures?
Well, that same camping spot.
Scorpion.
Not in Idaho.
Not in Idaho.
So the prior years when I was camping there with my family, it had snowed that night, and there were mountain lion tracks.
That's the scariest.
And so I'm like, this camp spot is known for animals.
Yeah, that's the scariest. A mountain lion, because you ain't. My thing with that is you're not outrunning that.
No.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Not that I think I can outrun a bear at this point, but you're definitely not outrunning a mountain lion.
No. That's scary stuff.
That is scary.
It's hard, when you have.
Well, because if you're asleep and then you wake up and you hear something scratching around, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not like awake and alert. You're like, hey, what's going on out there? There's something eating my damn hot dogs, It's freaking crazy.
Jeez.
Now, what do you ask for Christmas? Like a set of tires? How does that work?
This Christmas?
Yeah. What do you ask for Christmas time? Like how does that, you have to obviously you have to create a budget for this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It can get, if you don't have sponsors and stuff, it can get really expensive.
Insane.
And that's just the hard thing about having like 5 different hobbies. Every one of them costs a lot of money.
I know. And the gun thing is ridiculously expensive now. I mean, anybody ammo. I saw a picture the other day. I thought it was a lie. 9mm ammo is $60 a box.
Right.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. It's getting to the point where, you know, like you have people wanting you to take them out shooting. It's like, okay, you're paying for the ammo. Like, I'm not going to be.
Everybody
back in the day, we'd be nice about it. Okay, yeah.
Everybody kick in 200.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And seriously.
Yeah.
Now, you may go to SHOT Show. You mentioned it.
Maybe, yeah.
You might. Mm-hmm. You might. Why do you want to go?
I want to go for the experience. I love being around people. I love networking, all of that. So I think that will help me in that aspect of it. But
it's big.
I've never been.
Yeah, you get it. I've been to SEMA. I've been to some of the car shows. I actually enjoy them a lot more. I think they do a better experience, you know, in terms of walking around and just going to a booth. It's, you know what I mean? They have more of like a hey, let me show you how this works type of approach. The gun industry shows are like kind of like, here's a gun. Cool. You know, like that's like as good as it gets. Okay. Like, you know, you get a lot of people trying to explain to you the technology, but
nobody takes that.
Yeah, there's not a lot of like tech there. Mm-hmm. It's pretty simple. But I think the gun industry is getting closer to producing, you know, a better quality show, and I think it's on the way to a lot of self-analysis, if I'm wording that properly. Mm-hmm. And I want to make sure I put it the right way. Okay. But it doesn't have the same types of products that allow it to be an industry that's like, let me take you through this in many ways. So it's kind of hard. And cars are just more something that people are drawn to a little differently. Yeah. And the mods and the changes are what draws people in. And we really don't have that in the gun industry other than really Glock. Yeah. You know, that allows, you know, SIG is starting to do it through the FCU project where you can build your own SIG from scratch. And I think that's really cool. But cars have always had that like modification deal with them, you know. And there's
just so many choices you can pick from. Like, not that there's not in the gun.
If you didn't have a Toyota, what would you have? What would you want to mod? Jeep?
Yeah.
Probably.
I didn't say that out loud, did I?
No, I see a lot of sick Jeeps out there. I like the Gladiator, but I think it's kind of a chick car a little bit, you know.
I feel like it's a little big.
You think?
I don't know.
And I don't know. I don't know what all. With Jeeps, the Jeeps are like their own world, you know, and I see people with all the Jeep mods and everything, but I feel like that's a little overwhelming for me. Yeah. I like my Raptor. It's
so weird because you'll have your Toyota community, you'll have your Jeep community, and they're so different. Yeah. You know, I feel like everybody in the Jeep community is more modifications. This is, you know, and then people in the Toyota community are more not trying to go against each other with their builds or whatever. I feel like we're all like family.
Now, there are people that do it with like certain vehicles that are like, they turn them into tanks. Yeah. Like that's a whole nother fucking thing. I saw those.
Like mine.
Yeah. I saw, no, I'm serious. I saw some of those, they convert the whole car. It's pretty fucking crazy. Is that like something that would be like too glamorous? I think
so.
They do like $200,000 worth of modifications. Yeah. I forget the name of one of the companies. I know Exhibit has one of the cars. It's like they'll take a Jeep and turn it into like a fucking bulletproof tank that goes off grid. It's pretty fucking wild.
I mean, if you had the money, you'd do it, right?
I think so. And then obviously, like, what are the other ones called? The ones that like you can survive for like 5 years in.
Yeah, I know what you're talking. Are they huge?
Yeah.
Earth roamers?
Earth roamers.
Yeah.
They're like $1 million.
I know.
I mean, they're fucking crazy.
Those are crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd love to have one, but.
I saw her on, I think it was one of the Last Line of Defense's videos. Like he did a walk around on one of them. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. But that's borderline an RV, right? I mean, that's kind of where you are.
I feel like that's made more for survival situations. I don't know.
Be expensive to run.
Right.
Gas. Are you cautious now with gas prices?
They're not horrible in Idaho. They're like $3.50.
That's bad.
Is that bad?
It's bad. It's bad. It's not California, but it's bad. I mean, I can remember $3 a few years ago, but
I can remember $1.25.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I mean, there's people that probably listen that can remember 25 cents.
Yeah.
I mean, they're older than I am for sure. I remember $1, $1.10. Like I can remember that pretty consistently. But I was on a coast. But it's crazy now. I would imagine in that community, with gas prices being as high as they are, that kind of makes them a little fickle towards the administration. I can understand why, right? Is anyone talking about it? Gas prices? No. I mean, how do you get off grid without gas, right? Is anyone going to electric? You think? Maybe, right? I would think so.
Wow.
I mean,
solar?
Maybe if you could find a solar powered car, but I would think electric coming in would be a game changer for sure, because they want to make all these cars electric by a certain period.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
I feel about that. I really don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. It's pretty...
I'm not really...
I don't feel great about that. I am all for it if they can pull it off and you maintain the same off, what would I call it? Horsepower or, the strength of the car. That's what I think. But you don't want to see that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that solar, you can have solar powered equipment on it, but I don't think we'll ever see solar powered.
Yeah, no.
Completely.
I mean, for like survival situations.
They use it in space.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it works, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how fast those cars are going. I don't imagine pretty quick. But it is intriguing when they have the power cells and you can go like 500 miles. That's interesting. But where would you charge it out there? That's the problem.
It's crazy. It's like where? That would be a nightmare.
Well,
just becoming stranded in an electric vehicle.
Now, what's next for you? What plans? Any plans to get off grid for a while?
I'm hoping this next year to go more than I had this year. I really wanted to go like almost every other weekend, because that's what we would start doing. But with all the trips that I've had to take, we've just had to put things off. And
now, how do you document it? And how now do you have like GoPros and everything else?
No, I'm not that fancy.
You're not that fancy yet. Are you getting there?
Maybe. I think so.
I think you should. I think you should document one full trip.
Yeah.
Put it on YouTube. I think you got to be on YouTube.
I am on YouTube, but I just haven't.
Yeah, they shared the link.
Yeah, I haven't come out with anything yet.
What are you thinking?
More.
You thinking about anything?
Me?
Yeah. You thinking about doing anything on YouTube? You have any ideas?
Yeah, I started.
Talk show, game show.
I feel like I'm more passionate about my IG right now.
Oh.
I want to get into the YouTube thing, but it's just like, it's a lot. I just don't think I'd have enough content to do one every week.
That's fair. That's a fair thing to say. You may not, but I think if you get trapped too much in just IG, it's hard to document it the way that maybe you'd want to long form.
Right.
And I think you have to look at it differently. I think you have to look at it like, if I start putting my energy into YouTube, I can cut the YouTube stuff into IG stuff.
True. Okay.
Other than the stills, right? Because you still got to take stills. Yeah. You still got to take those glamour photos. And how that looks.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's an amazing lifestyle. I think it's wild when I look it up on YouTube, some of these people and how they live and what they do. I was drawn to yours because I knew you were doing it as a passion, and it was a family thing, and it might have been a way to even save money. But during COVID, when I saw that industry blow up the way that it did, I was even surprised how many people were so willing to be like, I'm just going to fucking live in my car.
Right.
Like straight up, you know what I mean? It was like, okay. Like, and that became like the Gucci thing to do, which I always thought was crazy. Do you think we're going into an era where big houses don't matter?
I think so.
I
really do. I've seen people make incredible houses out of small spaces.
And I think that's coming, though. People have been talking about that. Was it Elon Musk sold like all his possessions at one point? I don't think you necessarily have to have the 10,000 square foot house that we were used to like identifying with success.
Exactly.
I don't think that's a measuring stick. And I think that your industry is at the tip of that, because some of these people are spending fortunes on their cars and on their experience. I mean, look at one of those Patriot campers. They're like 60 grand, some of them. It's not cheap stuff. And when you start to think about it as a lifestyle, and even the RVs, they can spend $1 million easy.
Yeah.
And I know that doesn't count, but the cars are enough depending on the mods you put on them. It's pretty wild. Yeah. It's pretty wild. I don't know where it all goes, but I think going forward, I think a lot of people are going to start to look at that lifestyle and start to consider what they need to do to live out of the confines of this is my home.
Right.
Maybe we become nomads again, right?
Maybe.
Right? Is that in the cards? Is that what you consider yourself, like a nomad? I think you guys do, right? You're all the same.
Yeah.
Traveling. I'm jealous. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. What's up next for you? Anything exciting on the docket you want to let anybody know about?
Oh no, my life is just
shot.
You just go for it. No.
Just shot.
Just
show,
shot. Just so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think shot show, and then we have SCI and SHOT Show at the same time, actually, this year. Safari Club. And then it goes into Great American Outdoor Show and then NRA. It's
Oh,
kind of right
wow.
off that. Yeah, as the show season kind of progresses.
Yeah.
It's a weird show season because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
COVID's kind of like throwing it all for a loop. Where you guys hunker down. I mean, restrictions aren't bad where you are.
No,
right?
they never were bad.
Masks?
There was like a certain few months where we had to wear the mask, but now it's just like
Nothing.
nah. If the company or like the restaurant or whatever requires it, obviously you have to put it on because it's their
So it's only
property. It's just
restaurants.
like, yeah, they're kind of certain restaurants. Not now, but like when that was all going down.
Right. So you guys kind of avoided it altogether. I'm jealous.
Yeah.
A little jealous.
It did suck though.
Yeah.
That's when it was.
Now you anti-vax or vaccinated, or how do you fall with that shit? Does that play into it at all?
I am anti-vax, but I don't tell people what they can and can't do with their.
Right.
You
No,
know,
I agree with that.
I have the issue of enforcing it on people, even
Okay.
if they don't want it.
Okay.
You know, that's the issue I have on that.
Yeah, I think
If you want it, great. You know.
Yeah, I think a majority of the people in our community and your community would agree with you. I think
Yeah.
that's the right way to be. I'm not sure it should be forced. Do you homeschool?
No.
No.
Nope.
You thinking about it? I am.
I was homeschooled and I did not enjoy that.
No, you like the
No, I
interact,
think it's great for kids to social interact with each other too.
but it's getting so weird,
It
right?
is weird. I went to a private school, so like for high school, it was like a charter school, then a private school. But yeah, I know kids can be mean too.
Yeah, the homeschool thing just scares me with everything they're trying to teach everybody today.
Yeah, that's true.
And
That's one reason why my parents pulled me out of public school.
Right. I think it's a little scary. I mean, I definitely think homeschooling is going to become the thing a lot of people are going to do, and then
Yeah.
with this lifestyle, it plays right into it because you could travel and do whatever you want. And you could teach people on the fly.
Right.
There's no better way. I don't think.
Yeah. It's hard because, you know, when it first started, the whole COVID thing, my kids had to end up staying home for school like most kids did. And that was just tough on them.
Oh, I believe
You
it.
know.
I believe it. It's impossible. It's impossible.
It's just that social aspect that they're missing. And then they get bored and they don't want to do it.
It's crazy.
It's weird.
Now,
It's hard both ways.
Now, do you have TV at home? I know that's a weird question.
I don't have like normal TV. I have Netflix, Hulu, stuff like that.
But I think if you're going to live that lifestyle, you have to get used to not having TV, just having certain things. It's crazy.
Growing up half my life, though, my dad got rid of the TV, so I
Smart.
was sheltered.
Smart. Were your parents outdoorsy?
My dad, yeah. My mom would go too. She supports it and everything. So, yeah, my dad would always take us girls out.
Yeah, I mean,
Doing everything.
I hunted and I was outdoorsy, but I wasn't like, I was a Boy Scout. I did all those things.
Right.
But when I try to explain to people like truly living that life, I didn't live that life. And people who say that they did most of the time didn't.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I try to explain. So it's more respect for the people that do actually live that way or travel like that.
Well, see, and that's the thing is like, I think there's a idea of how somebody is supposed to be.
Right.
In the outdoor community of how they're supposed to look. So looking at me, you would probably never thought that I want to go camping or anything, but that's all I did my whole life growing up.
I think looking at me, you would think, you would think I'd never want to go camping. Because I
thought you did go camping.
See, I like too many of the creature comforts though.
Yeah.
I'm at an age and stage of the game where I'm like, I don't want to do those things. Now, A lot of it has to do with I ruptured my Achilles a year ago, so I couldn't really walk or get around really well, and that's a horrible injury. It's a debilitating one. So any outdoorsy stuff I was doing before that, when you don't have an Achilles, it's kind of hard to get around. You're not like going far. Like I could probably go from the car to the fire. Like that's about it. So I don't mean to mitigate it, but I also try to show respect for people that are like, you know, like I go out on hunts. I've been on deer hunts. I've been on hog hunts. I've been on a bunch of different hunts. Have I been on a hunt where like I went and hunted a caribou 80 miles in? No, but I'm the first to admit that. Like, of course not.
Yeah.
Have I been camping? Yeah, but have I been camping where it's like 2 days and I'm brushing my teeth in a fucking pan? No. But I own that, you know, and I think a lot of people try to make it sound like they do those things. And I would be lying if I said it would be something like I would love, but I would do it if it was like a good group. I think the group is everything.
Oh, yeah.
And I think who you're with is everything. And I don't think I've encountered enough people that I'm willing to do that with them. Exactly. So you think you have to like people more than necessarily being dirty and funky and being out and about for months at a time. I can take a bath in a creek with somebody and then see some old guy take a seizure, you know, while he's naked,
butt naked,
with his boyfriend or something. Seriously, I don't necessarily know, but it is a very cool life, and it's a very cool lifestyle.
It's rewarding,
and I think every weekend can be a vacation. Now, it's not something. Now, when people ask and people talk about this, it's not something you can kind of do. You have to be active in it, and you have to be planning and doing something all the time. How much planning goes into an excursion?
Not much with me. I feel like if you're going with other people, you obviously have to plan it, you know, where you're going to go.
Who wants to see what and who wants to get where.
When it's just like me and my family, we just pack up and go. And it's just spur of the moment too.
Right. Now,
so it's not like...
Now, when you set it all up, I mean, you have to set it. You can wing it, right? But do you plan on some of these like saying we want to take this group and we want to do this? With, like, do you go out with a like when you went on the one to Colorado? Yeah. Is there a specific goal, or is it just let's get out there and let's see what we can create?
Yeah, pretty much. They had like the trail planned, so I think that's it. But whatever we were doing, kind of just off-roading and
you off-road too?
Yeah, usually that's what we do.
Will you take four-wheelers and shit?
Yeah. Oh no, not like that. Off-roading for vehicles.
All right, just off-roading.
Four-wheelers.
But like, do you ever get caught anywhere? Or you get trapped?
Oh yeah. So we went with my friend Gary up a mountain that's in Idaho.
Okay.
And it had snowed up at the top and we didn't realize it. Well, we go down and we went down just fine. So after we looked at the lake and everything, we went to go back up the same way and the mud was just terrible. We kept sliding. You couldn't get up the mountain.
What do you do if you're stuck? Like, how do you have someone push you or pull you?
Yeah. Or Max Tracks. You always have recovery gear, you know, as well.
And you just get.
And it's always good to go with somebody. Because like if we were there by ourselves, it wouldn't have been good.
I have been trapped on a mountain.
Have you?
I didn't completely tell the truth. I have been trapped and disconnected a little bit. Oh. We got down. I mean, but we weren't in deep. That's what I mean. Like it was like 2 miles out. Anybody who was with me when that happened and heard this story, they'd think like I made it sound like we were on fucking Everest. Exactly. But we weren't. No, you know, but yeah, I mean, if you're off-roading and you're in your car and you're like trapped, I mean, do you just fucking leave the car there? You know, you call, who the fuck do you call if you had to? Forest Service?
I mean, I'm thinking we're in the snow, right?
Well, whatever. I mean, I think I see these videos on TikTok and on IG and everything. Mm-hmm. And people have their car and it's like going into some fucking weird area. Yeah. If it gets stuck, what the fuck do you do?
I don't know. It depends if you have service or not. I wouldn't leave. I'm thinking it's snowing outside.
You got to hike out. Read about these people in the fucking news. You know? Oh, God. Here we go. Here's one guy. Hamilton, Texas said, my cousin and I traveled from southern New Hampshire all the way up 2/3 up the state, 90% dirt road travel, all class. Wicked fun to plan out and explore. Well, there you have it, people. I guess you got to go. There's mud. You got to go in mud. You have to go in the
Oh
mud.
gosh, it sucks though.
Yeah.
Uphill.
Is it a badge of honor to keep the car dirty?
Yeah. Mine's still dirty for like 3 weeks.
I think that's so funny to me. I think that's so funny to me.
No, I've just been lazy. I haven't washed it. That's my excuse though.
Well,
I'm like, we're just going to go get pictures again. It's going to be dirty anyway.
do you prefer it dirty in pictures?
Yeah.
Like, is it photograph?
I know. And not always. Sometimes it just doesn't show in photos.
Right.
Yeah. No, I don't go wash it every time I want to take photos.
What's the dream excursion for you? Tell me the dream.
I'd love to go out east.
Like a
That's very
like a Maine,
dreamful,
New
yeah.
No, like a
Yeah, I
Maine,
really,
New Hampshire.
yeah.
It's my old stomping grounds.
That's where I want to go.
The Kangamangas,
Yeah.
something like that.
East side. I've been to Florida, but I flew there.
Or the Carolinas. There's a lot of shit there.
Really?
North and South Carolina. Those would be good areas to hit. I'd imagine anywhere like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe Canada, Banff, something like that would be fun, right?
Right.
That you'd have to plan.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking
That's
like
not just
1,000
taking off for a
miles. You
weekend.
can't, you can't wing it. I've driven from, I've driven from New Hampshire to Montana, Montana to Miami, Miami to Vegas,
Yeah.
all in a car.
Oh my gosh.
I've done it all in a car.
On one trip?
No.
Oh.
No. I would be in the Hall of Fame. No.
You were here.
No. Separate trips,
Oh,
but that
yeah.
would be a hell of a fucking run.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've done that drive. That's pretty wild. I mean, that's a long time to spend in a car.
Well, that's the only way I traveled up until like a month ago.
Are you scared of planes?
Yeah, I was.
Why?
I was. Because I'm scared of heights.
But that's like saying I'm scared of water, so I'm not going to go in the shower.
I know.
Do you look down on a plane? Can you look down?
Like, yeah.
No, you look out the window. I don't know if you can see. I
love it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. As long as how'd you get over it?
I just did it. I
You're just
feel like
like,
that's
fuck
like
it.
what
I'm
I'm
just
doing.
going to do it. Yeah, I'm just
That's
going to
what I'm doing here.
Yeah, I'm just going to eat
just
shit.
gonna do
I'm
it.
just going to do it. That's terrifying. That's how you get trauma. I don't know if you should maybe go see a therapist and talk it out. Be like,
my husband was like, "There's nothing to be scared of. I don't know why you're so scared." And so I'm like, I can't.
Did you think you were going to jump out in a chute?
Like, I might just turn back around and not go on the plane. That's my train of thought when I was first going to go on a plane.
So that's how this happened. Scared of going on planes. You need like a John Madden bus.
I'm like,
Scared of going on planes.
I'm like, why have I been driving this whole time? You just get there in an hour.
How many miles do you have on the car? This one. What's the most you put on?
I'm embarrassed.
What?
So I bought it at 800 miles and I put it up to like 90
So far?
90 something.
When do you start thinking about getting a new one? What's the number
I don't want to get a new one.
to upgrade? Do you think you can get like...
I think it need to be a totally different new generation of 4Runner.
Yeah.
If that was the case, I'd probably be like, yeah, I want to try the new one.
Most people are riding them to what, 250?
Yeah.
Pretty easily?
Yeah.
That's what I see a lot of. That's a lot of miles.
I know.
It's a lot of
It's a
miles.
lot.
It's a lot. I mean, you're changing tires and rims.
It's not that like, oh, these miles were all put on just because of overlanding. No, it's like my daily as well. So it's like I have to drive 30 miles
back and forth.
back and forth every day.
So you're doing probably 30,000 and then 50. It's a lot. It's a lot of
It's a
miles.
lot.
It's a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
If you had that many plane miles, you'd have a few free tickets for
I know,
sure.
right?
I know. It's crazy to think about.
We did drive it the farthest to Arkansas, where
That's
I went to
far.
backwards. Yeah,
That's far.
it is far.
How many miles is that?
Oh my god,
It's got to be
it's
2,000
like
plus.
23
Yeah.
hours. 24 hours.
You can't do it when you say 24 hours though. You can't like Boston to Disney's like 24 hours, but you can't do it in 24. Like what's the most you
Right.
can drive even switching? I would say like 12 hours, 14
Yeah,
hours.
that's it.
Yeah, you
I was
need
gonna say
like
12.
You need to cap it because you'll lose your mind. You know what I mean?
Right. Take a break.
So Hammond said, "Great off-roading in New Hampshire. I have to be careful where you travel, for there is not much public land." Okay, in New England, he's right about that. Just have to know where you look. And do you have secret spots? That's the $1 million question. I think you do, kind of like dove hunts, right? Like you
Right.
have your spots.
Spots. You don't want
people are like, I'm not going to
going
tell you
and
my
ruining your
spot.
spot.
I don't want to ruin my spot. Is
Right.
that a whole thing? In that, that's got to be a whole thing.
I
in
think
that
it is a whole thing.
Yeah.
The more that know, the more that's going to come, and You don't want that.
I love when guys refer to that though. They're like, I have my spots, like for bird hunts and shit. Fish, yeah. I have my spot. Like, what are you, 100? I have my spot. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. Now, is the world round or the world flat?
Round.
At least you're not a flat earther. All right. We can accept that.
Was that a question?
It was. No. I'm asking because I hear about some people who live in that. Like there's a lot of flat earthers in that lifestyle.
Oh yeah.
They're like, the earth's flat. I'm like, keep on driving. You're driving to the ocean, right? You can't drive over the ocean. They have that theory. It's kind of funny to see, but I'm intrigued by this lifestyle. I think it's crazy, and I think it's a lot of fun. I couldn't imagine every other weekend or even that often doing that because it's a lot of work, and to me it would be a lot of planning because I'd want to see a lot of people and I want to do a lot of things. I have thought about taking the podcast on the road.
Oh yeah?
In some in some format. And I'm intrigued by that. And that's interesting to me, but I think I would have to do it with a fifth wheel, which violates some of the laws but it does. But I would have to because I need power.
Right.
And I need some kind of like way to conduct the interview, but I always thought it would be really cool if I could do it like a bus. I think Jericho does that and a few other people. And I could like kind of just go and see friends and be like, let's do a show.
That's neat.
Yes. I think that would be very cool. And I think that would be fun. Have you thought about doing like a travel and road show like that, like a podcast or something?
Oh, I haven't.
That should be a cool idea.
That would be.
You should do it.
I probably should. Give me my show.
Yeah, I would do it. You should. You should definitely do it. I love this. Now, shout out any sponsors or anybody you want to tell about the show and let everybody know where the next obviously SHOT Show we talked about earlier, the next possible place they could run into you.
Yeah, SHOT Show.
Sponsors.
Backwoods Adventure Mods.
Who else?
Falcon Off-Road Wheels.
Keep going.
Keep going. Nitto Tire.
Okay. Anyone else?
No, those are my sponsors.
Falcons are nice, right?
Them. They are nice.
Yeah, I thought about getting a set of those.
Yeah. I might change up my color.
Maybe. Any other recommendations for products or anything anybody's looking for to go check out? And if they're interested in getting into the lifestyle, tell them where to find you.
Yes. So on my Instagram, I have like in my link bio, I have a lot of links that they can click on.
Link
Those
tree.
are my link tree. Those are my good products.
And what's your IG?
Baby_Yota_.
And everybody who's been in the chat and on YouTube, they've been sharing it. But just for everybody listening, it's Baby Yota. It's a great page. Go check it out. We'll flash it on the screen. We'll put the links down below. It's a lot of fun to have you in and to hear about this. And we spend some time talking about it out there. I think it's super cool.
Thank you. It is fun.
I appreciate you coming out and spending the time. Yeah. Now, SHOT Show is going to be the next chance to run into Lindsay. Go check out SHOT Show when that comes up. You'll be there and or available on any of the links. Guys, go check her out. Go support. Show some love. Everybody in here, we appreciate you guys. I want to shout out a few of the sponsors and thank them now. Go check out all Lindsay's sponsors too as well. Go check out all the different companies she works with. But I want to thank some of ours. Head over to the website, www.johnbartoloshow.com. Go check out a complete list there. I want to thank Gallo Technology, Rhino Metals, Blackwater Ammunition, Galco Leather Holsters, Full Quartz and Firearms, Sig Sauer, Pulsar Thermal Imaging Technology, and Inforce Weapon Lights. Go check out a complete list of all the sponsors on the website, guys. They flash in the trailer before the show. Please leave reviews. Please remember to like and subscribe. And go check out all Lindsay's stuff. I really appreciate her coming in and kind of educating us a little bit on this lifestyle. If you guys are interested, get a Jeep, get a 4Runner, get a Toyota, get whatever, and spend some money. Be ready to spend money.
Yeah. It's more expensive.
It's expensive, but go into hiding.
That's fun.
It's probably good for everybody. We're going to sign out. Appreciate you guys.